It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
What did they do to me?
Let's get our bearings. I don't even remember them strapping me down.
This again. Oh, I don't even remember them strapping me down. Not a very chatty fellow, are you?
An animal's sty? Freight or food?
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
Fresh meat. Nice. Plump. Banded like a chicken's leg, too. That may be so, but look at the flies. Ban wisdom. Flies know when a creature will die. And it's around your head they're buzzing, not mine.
With 2 shakes of her stumpy tail, the sheep turns away from you to peruse her hay-filled manger. Did you expect a needle?
That click. This floor plate triggered something.
Hey! Get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Set me free and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think.
I should have known there'd be trouble.
I'm not one to let sleeping dogs lie.
The prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his eyes rest on yours.
Ah, freedom. Tastes better than wine. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lass. Say your prayers while you've breath to speak them. The halls await.
Empty.
Not the most elegant solution, was it? And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
Junk.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly in. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your
Empty.
next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. Makes you unable to cast source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for several days.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your pulse with the other.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. My, these smelling salts are strong stuff.
Gods, there's been a murder here.
Quite the mess they made.
No lesions, no trauma. It was bled by magic.
Hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of...
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice?
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course.
I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together. Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
She smiles contemptuously.
Just a kitten in a corner, aren't we?
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go to...
Mad? Insufferable.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this trampy fan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He whips,
Pinches less that way, right?
hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction. The sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
I'd wish you good luck, but I have a feeling you're the one who won't need it.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Why won't you sing?
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if...
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
You are chill, aren't you?
My, we are fierce, aren't we?
I ain't saying nothing.
Not to worry. I'll soon remedy that.
I'll come back to you, and you better be ready to talk here.
Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach.
I'll give you
On
that
to the
knuckle
second
if you
question.
keep carrying on.
Can you knit, weave?
One
In
of us
short,
wouldn't kill our own.
tailor?
They're picking us off one by one.
Can we
Oh,
just
to feel the
skip to
caress
part
of
where I
Saturn on my
reassure you
scarlet
and you
skin
shut
once
up?
more. A most satisfactory answer indeed.
Mad?
On then to my final
Insufferable.
query.
Surely.
Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art
I'll
of
tell
the
you
very
if you can keep it
basics.
quiet
then.
long enough for
I
me to
suppose that's a
listen.
start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, that just about
Never
settles
thought
it.
you'd end up a prison guard.
I offer you my sincerest
Damn right.
congratulations.
I always
As of
knew you'd turn
now,
out rotten,
you are
Ben
my
Mason.
slave. Of course you accept.
Your kind
Mine
always
wasn't an
come
offer,
closest
it was
to
an
our
order.
divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once
Got
we reach
this wolf
Fourth
on a
Joy.
leash now.
Now shoot!
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
Why won't you sing?
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you. Keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la.
Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle. Finally, he pinches your skin, gently tugging at it.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
What purpose did that serve? Was that a greeting? Was it... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... difficult. You have my apologies, human. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Understanding is all rather relative. Take this book, for example. I understand all of it, and yet none of it makes sense. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams has just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, ma'am, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Clearly don't know the first thing about swords.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate. Creep those bubbles trying.
Top door's barricaded. No way through for now.
I'll give you that
You see
knuckle.
one there, John?
Carry it on.
What on earth is the one of us? Kill our own. Murdermost foul. Strongly.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
By all means, do as the officer says, but you had better hurry, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Bloody dwarves, I'll come back. You better be ready to talk.
No time for chatter. We've got to get out of here.
Oh! What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake! Oh!
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, you can see... The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound. curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, you can see green eyes fluttering as if in a nightmare. A low whine escapes his lips. His eyes flicker open, but he doesn't register your presence at all.
Lucien. Lucien.
Ifan cries out, then his eyes fall closed again. No matter how much you shake him now, he cannot be... The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but her eyes are wide. The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling as it lowers itself into a lunge.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Too much. Please, make it stop.
The hound sees you reach for your weapon and growls, baring sharp, white teeth.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.
Damn it. That doesn't bode well.
Gods, damn it!
Onwards and up!
Need to get off this wreck, and quick! Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull!
Suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid! No wonder
the skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
I know your god did not gift you with much, but kindly use the little you were given. Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling matters like water and poison do not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the sea floor, I will simply walk to shore. Whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over. I believe you did, although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Remember, one of your race's weaknesses is having your lungs filled with water until you can no longer breathe. So, try to avoid that, perhaps.
The skeleton resumes his search, leafing through page after page, while hunching over the book in a futile attempt to keep it dry. Was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
I need to get out of here, now!
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us in here.
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a... Wait! Void Woken!
Beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary. We make a pretty good team.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.